The one that's presented to us is not history. It's all lies.
Well, it's not all lies.
All of
There's some lies.
I found that too.
Lost civilization in Grand Canyon was, wait, Egyptian?
The Grand Canyon is the one place that has always left the world in mystery, and most of these well-known archaeologists have tried to figure out what secrets the Grand Canyon holds. But most of these people's efforts have proved futile until now. Only recently, Elon Musk journeyed to the Grand Canyon, and what was discovered not only terrified him, but also all the scientists who accompanied him to the site. So all of this begs the question, what exactly was discovered at the Grand Canyon that has instilled fear in the hearts of people? Join us today as we get into all the details behind this mystery. Elon Musk's shocking comment on a terrifying Grand Canyon discovery. Elon Musk, the visionary behind Tesla and SpaceX, is no stranger to bold statements and groundbreaking discoveries. Known for pushing the boundaries of technology and space exploration, he usually avoids unnecessary controversies. However, his recent comment about a shocking discovery in the Grand Canyon has left many people speechless. What could Musk have uncovered about this landmark? Could it be an ancient secret, a lost civilization, or something even more terrifying? Before we reveal what he said, let's take a deep dive into the mysteries and hidden horrors of the Grand Canyon. Secrets that have baffled scientists, historians, and explorers for centuries. Don't go anywhere. The Colorado River, over millions of years, carved out one of the most breathtaking landscapes on Earth. The Grand Canyon, stretching 278 miles across northern Arizona, this geological wonder attracts millions of visitors each year. But long before tourists marveled at its sheer beauty, the Grand Canyon was home to civilizations dating back at least 12,000 years. Archaeological discoveries reveal evidence of ancient cultures, including the Clovis, archaic, basket maker, and ancestral Puebloan peoples. Even today, indigenous groups such as the Navajo, Hopi, and Southern Paiute call this land sacred. Hidden within the canyons, towering cliffs, and deep valleys are mysterious artifacts, some of which hint at lost knowledge, unexplained rituals, and possibly even something beyond human comprehension. Among the most impressive discoveries in the Grand Canyon are two ancient spear points, small yet powerful clues to a time when early humans hunted for survival in this harsh environment. The Clovis spear point, dating back to between 9,200 BCE and 8,900 BCE, was crafted from paleo-pink stone, a rare type of silica not native to the Grand Canyon. This means it was transported over great distances, possibly through ancient trade routes or migrations. The second artifact, a Folsom spear point fragment from 8,900 BCE to 8,200 BCE, is remarkably well preserved. These discoveries reveal that early civilizations had advanced knowledge of hunting tools, materials, and possibly even long-distance communication. But the deeper archaeologists dig, the more questions arise. Were these just hunting tools, or could they have been part of something more mysterious? One of the most chilling discoveries in the Grand Canyon is a collection of small wooden figurines, carefully carved into the shapes of animals like deer and bighorn sheep. These artifacts, dating back 4,000 years, were created during the late Archaic period, but their purpose remains unclear. Hundreds of these figurines have been found in the Grand Canyon, suggesting they were made there rather than being brought from another location. Some of them are especially eerie. Tiny spears pierce their wooden bodies, leading experts to believe they were used in hunting rituals. We think it was a method to increase the chances of a successful hunt, says archaeologist Ellen Brennan. But could these figurines have had a deeper meaning? Some researchers speculate that they were not just tools of superstition, but warnings, symbols left behind by an ancient civilization that understood something we don't. Between 550 and 825 CE, the basket maker culture thrived in the Grand Canyon, leaving behind remarkable artifacts. As their name suggests, they were expert weavers, creating baskets so tightly woven that they could hold water. Many of their artifacts have survived due to the canyon's dry climate, preserving these masterpieces of craftsmanship. While the baskets lack the intricate zigzag patterns seen in other regions, pottery from this culture does feature unique designs, possibly hinting at lost traditions or hidden messages. The ancestral Puebloan people, who lived in the Grand Canyon between 825 CE and 1250 CE, left behind an astonishing collection of pottery. Unlike a single standout artifact, Archaeologists have uncovered an entire series of ceramics that showcase the evolution of artistic design over centuries. Early pottery featured simple geometric patterns, but as time passed, the designs became more intricate, divided into sections with unique symbols. Some believe these patterns hold deeper meanings, messages from the past that we have yet to fully decipher. But what if the pottery holds more than just dates? Could it be a record of something extraordinary? Now, all of this begs the question, what exactly could have caught the attention of Elon Musk? His recent comment has caused wild speculation. Some believe he may have information about an ancient technology hidden within the canyon, something that could change history. Others suspect the discovery of an underground structure, perhaps linked to a lost civilization. Whatever the truth is, one thing is certain. Musk's words have drawn a lot of global attention to the Grand Canyon in a way we've never seen before. Could this be the beginning of a new discovery that rewrites history? Before we reveal that answer, we can't help but wonder what myths and theories have been associated with the marvelous landscape. Myths of the Grand Canyon. The Grand Canyon, one of the world's most awe-inspiring natural wonders, continues to capture the imaginations of millions of visitors each year. Its sheer size and breathtaking beauty draw adventurers, geologists, and nature enthusiasts from all corners of the globe. While the Grand Canyon's geological history is well documented, it is also a place shrouded in mysteries and legends. Strange disappearances, tales of lost civilizations, and eerie sightings have given this natural wonder an air of intrigue that goes far beyond its stunning vistas. Throughout the years, there have been eerie reports of explorers and hikers who ventured deep into the Grand Canyon and mysteriously vanished without a trace. Some say they were swallowed by the canyon's enigmatic depths.
And for future generations to be able to come and be exposed to this kind of wilderness and nature, I think that's extremely important.
While others believe they stumbled upon strange vortexes or portals leading to another dimension. While skeptics may dismiss these stories as pure folklore, they add an undeniable layer of intrigue to the Grand Canyon's mystique. Could there be something hidden within the canyon that we have yet to discover? One of the most enduring legends of the Grand Canyon is the tale of a lost ancient city hidden within its walls. Some claim that advanced civilizations, possibly of Egyptian or Hopi origin, once built a vast city deep within the canyon. The main source of this legend comes from an article published by the Arizona Gazette in 1909. According to the story, two men, one of whom was allegedly a Smithsonian archaeologist, discovered evidence of an ancient civilization at the Grand Canyon. However, the Arizona Gazette was the only paper to ever report this story. No evidence has ever been found, not of the civilization, nor of the two men who made the discovery. While there is no concrete proof to support these claims, the legend fuels the imagination and continues to inspire explorers to seek out the Grand Canyon secrets. Scientists use rock layers to determine the age of geological formations. This is how we know that the Grand Canyon dates back nearly 2 billion years. However, there's something strange about the canyon's rock layers. There are massive gaps in its geological timeline.
Geologic feature, one of the hallmark features of the Grand Canyon.
One of the most baffling of these gaps, known as the Great Unconformity, represents a missing span of nearly 1.2 billion years. What happened to all that rock? There is no universally agreed upon scientific explanation for this mysterious absence. Some believe it may have been caused by an ancient ice age that eroded the layers over time. Others speculate that there could be more mysterious forces at play, forces that we have yet to understand. According to Navajo legends, the Grand Canyon is home to strange, winged creatures resembling pterosaurs or thunderbirds. These mythical beings are said to be protectors of the sacred land, watching over the canyon and its hidden mysteries. While many dismiss these accounts as pure folklore, stories of giant, bird-like creatures persist. Could these legends be based on real sightings, or are they merely the echoes of ancient myths? When most people think of Bigfoot, they picture dense forests in the Pacific Northwest. But did you know that a Bigfoot-like creature has been sighted in and around the Grand Canyon? Known as the Mogollon Monster, this massive, hairy being has been described by several witnesses, particularly near the Mogollon Rim, a stunning yet eerie area of Arizona. Sightings of the Mogollon Monster date back to 1903. One early account describes the creature as a huge figure covered in gray hair, with long claws and glowing green eyes.
But it's starting to get pretty warm, so
That was just enough. I'm gonna now fill up and probably take 2 liters as we venture.
Though no concrete proof of its existence has ever been found, the sheer number of reported sightings over the years is enough to make anyone wonder. Could the Mogollon monster be real? For what it's worth, we've never seen it on our tours. But that doesn't mean it isn't out there. Our Grand Canyon West, Hoover Dam, and 7 Magic Mountains Day Tour is just about uncovering mysteries.
7 Magic Mountains.
Yeah, we're now here.
It's about experiencing the magic of this natural wonder firsthand. One of the most unique stops on our tour is the 7 Magic Mountains, a mesmerizing art installation by renowned artist Ugo Rondinone. This colorful stack of boulders, rising from the desert landscape, creates a surreal contrast to the rugged beauty of the Grand Canyon. At the Hoover Dam, you'll witness one of the greatest engineering feats in history. This colossal concrete structure harnesses the mighty Colorado River, providing water and power to millions. Exploring the dam offers an up-close look at human ingenuity and determination in the face of nature's power. Finally, we arrive at the Grand Canyon West Rim, where breathtaking views and unforgettable experiences await. The Skywalk, a glass-bottom bridge extending over the canyon, allows you to literally walk on air, peering into the depths below. This exhilarating experience gives you a feeling of floating above one of the world's most ancient and profound mysteries. The Grand Canyon is more than just a geological wonder. It is a place filled with mysteries, legends, and unanswered questions. From disappearing explorers to lost civilizations, from cryptic rock formations to legendary monsters, the canyon holds secrets that may never be fully uncovered. But one thing is certain, whether you come for the stunning landscapes, the thrilling legends, or the sheer magic of the experience, the Grand Canyon will leave you in awe.
Whatever dynamite or explosive you want to bring in here, you're basically destroying a shrine.
The first Europeans reached the Grand Canyon in September 1540. It was a group of about 13 Spanish soldiers led by Garcia Lopez de Cardenas, dispatched from the army of Francisco Vázquez de Coronado on its quest to find the fabulous 7 cities of gold. The group was led by Hopi guides and, assuming they took the most likely route, must have reached the canyon at the south rim, probably between today's Desert View and Moran Point. According to Castaneda, he and his company came to a point from whose brink it looked as if the opposite side must be more than 3 or 4 leagues by airline. The report indicates that they greatly misjudged the proportions of the gorge. On the one hand, they estimated that the canyon was about 3 to 4 leagues wide, 13 to 16 kilometers, 8 to 10 miles, which is quite accurate. At the same time, however, they believed that the river, which they could see from above, was only 2 meters wide. In reality, it is about 100 times wider. Being in dire need of water and wanting to cross the giant obstacle, the soldiers started searching for a way down to the canyon floor that would be passable for them along with their horses. After 3 full days, they still had not been successful.
How we got here, who was here first, the whole historical perspective.
And it is speculated that the Hopi, who probably knew a way down to the canyon floor, were reluctant to lead them there. As a last resort, Cardenas finally commanded the 3 lightest and most agile men of his group to climb down by themselves. Their names are given as Pablo de Melgosa, Juan Galeras, and an unknown 3rd soldier. After several hours, the men returned, reporting that they had only made 1/3 of the distance down to the river, and that what seemed easy from above was not so. Furthermore, they claimed that some of the boulders, which they had seen from the rim and estimated to be about as tall as a man, were in fact bigger than the Great Tower of Seville at 104.1 meters, 342 feet. Cardenas finally had to give up and return to the main army. His report of an impassable barrier forestalled further visitation to the area for 200 years. Only in 1776 did 2 Spanish priests, Fathers Francisco Atanasio Dominguez and Silvestre Vélez de Escalante, travel along the North Rim again, together with a group of Spanish soldiers, exploring southern Utah in search of a route from Santa Fe, New Mexico, to Monterey, California. Also in 1776, Fray Francisco Garces, a Franciscan missionary, spent a week near Havasupai, unsuccessfully attempting to convert a band of Native Americans. He described the canyon as profound. James Ohio Patty and a group of American trappers and mountain men were probably the next Europeans to reach the canyon in 1826, although there is little supporting documentation. The signing of the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo in 1848 ceded the Grand Canyon region to the United States. Jules Marceau of the Pacific Railroad Survey made the first geologic observations of the canyon and surrounding area in 1856. Jacob Hamblin, a Mormon missionary, was sent by Brigham Young in the 1850s to locate easy river crossing sites in the canyon. Building good relations with local Native Americans and white settlers, he discovered Lee's Ferry in 1858 and Pierce Ferry, later operated by and named for Harrison Pierce, the only two sites suitable for ferry operation. In 1857, Edward Fitzgerald Beale led an expedition to survey a wagon road from Fort Defiance, Arizona, to the Colorado River. On September 19th, near present-day National Canyon, they came upon what May Humphrey Stacy described in his journal as a wonderful canyon 4,000 feet deep. Everyone in the party admitted that he had never before seen anything to match or equal this astonishing natural curiosity. A U.S. War Department expedition led by Lieutenant Joseph Ives was launched in 1857 to investigate the area's potential for natural resources, to find railroad routes to the West Coast, and to assess the feasibility of an upriver navigation route from the Gulf of California. The group traveled in a sternwheeler steamboat named Explorer. After 2 months and 350 miles, 560 kilometers, of difficult navigation, his party reached Black Canyon some 2 months after George Johnson. In the process, the Explorer struck a rock and was abandoned. The group later traveled eastwards along the south rim of the Grand Canyon. In the mid-1800s, the Grand Canyon was largely seen as a barren, desolate region by some of the first European explorers to encounter it. One of these early figures, John Wesley Powell, would go on to change the way the world viewed this majestic natural wonder. The initial dismissals of the Grand Canyon's worth came from John Wesley Powell's predecessor, Captain Ives.
My colleagues call me the Major, but the Ute and Paiute Indians, whose culture I studied.
In 1857, Ives led an expedition down the Colorado River to survey the region, but his conclusion was less than favorable. He dismissed the beauty of the canyon, calling it altogether valueless, and predicted that his would be the last party of whites to visit this profitless locality. At that time, the Grand Canyon seemed more like a desolate landscape to some. However, there was one person who would see it in an entirely different light. John Strong Newberry, a geologist attached to Ives's expedition, took a very different view of the Grand Canyon. Unlike Ives, Newberry found the landscape fascinating and recognized its potential for scientific exploration. He convinced fellow geologist John Wesley Powell to push for further exploration of the Grand Canyon region. Powell, a Civil War veteran who had lost his right arm in the Battle of Shiloh, was no stranger to risks and challenges. Armed with this newfound conviction from Newberry, Powell set out to prove that the Grand Canyon was not only beautiful, but it also held scientific significance. In 1869, over a decade after Ives' dismal report, Powell, now a seasoned explorer, led the first official expedition down the Colorado River through the Grand Canyon. This was a bold endeavor that would prove to be a monumental turning point in both geography and exploration. The team, consisting of Powell and 8 men, embarked on a perilous journey from Green River Station in Wyoming, down the treacherous Colorado River and through the canyon.
In the Canyon of Lador, we had disaster.
The expedition was underfunded, so they had no photographer or artist with them to record the breathtaking vistas they encountered. Along the way, disaster struck when one of the expedition's boats capsized in the Canyon of Lador, scattering vital supplies and scientific equipment into the river. Despite these setbacks, Powell's team pressed on, making history. The expedition was far from easy. Tired, cold, hungry, and uncertain of what lay ahead, the men faced constant peril. In what became known as Separation Canyon, 3 members of Powell's team, disheartened by the harsh conditions, decided to leave the group. Tragically, these men were killed by members of the Shivwits Paiutes, who mistook them for miners that had caused trouble in the area. Despite this, Powell and the remaining members of his party pressed on, eventually becoming the first known individuals to successfully navigate most of the Grand Canyon's dangerous waters. In 1871, Powell returned to the Grand Canyon with a better equipped and better funded team. This time, they came prepared with redesigned boats and established supply stations along their route. The team included photographer E.O. Beeman and young artist Frederick Dellenbaugh, tasked with capturing the grandeur of the Grand Canyon for the world to see. Unfortunately, Beeman had a falling out with Powell, and left the expedition in 1872, and his replacement, James Fenimore, had to quit due to poor health. As a result, boatman John K. Hillers took over the task of photographing the expedition. Nearly a ton of photographic equipment was carried on the journey, enabling Hillers to capture images of the untamed beauty of the Grand Canyon. That summer, Powell's expedition was joined by renowned painter Thomas Moran. Although Moran was not part of the river journey, his time at the canyon's rim allowed him to capture some of the most iconic images of the canyon. His 1873 painting, Chasm of the Colorado, gained national attention after it was purchased by the United States Congress in 1874 and displayed in the Senate lobby. This painting helped establish the Grand Canyon's image as a national treasure. The contributions of Powell's expeditions were invaluable. They systematically cataloged the region's rock formations, flora, fauna, and archaeology. Through photographs and illustrations, Powell's team helped popularize the Grand Canyon, making it a renowned symbol of natural beauty.
To say there is a part of the canyon I cannot explore.
Powell himself used these images during lecture tours, further cementing his place as a national figure. In fact, the sale of reproduction rights for the stereographs taken during the expeditions helped fund future projects, ensuring Powell's work would continue. In 1881, Powell was appointed as the second director of the U.S. Geological Survey. His contributions to the understanding of the Grand Canyon were built upon by Clarence Dutton, a geologist who took on the task of conducting an in-depth geological survey of the region. Dutton's work was groundbreaking, and the resulting report, titled A Tertiary History of the Grand Canyon District, with Atlas, published in 1882, is still regarded as a key piece of research in the field of geology. Dutton was also joined by artists like Moran and William Henry Holmes, who contributed visual depictions of the canyon's beauty and significance. These studies of the Grand Canyon laid the foundation for future geological research. The work of Powell and Dutton not only shaped scientific understanding of the area, but also fueled public interest in the Grand Canyon as a place of extraordinary natural wonder. However, the Grand Canyon story did not end with scientific exploration. In 1889, the Brown-Stanton expedition embarked on a new mission to survey a route for a railroad line that would run through the canyon to the Gulf of California.
We're in this big side canyon to the main Grand Canyon, and we're looking at the granite basement rock.
The railroad, which was intended to carry coal from Colorado's mines, ultimately failed to come to fruition. Yet the expedition proved significant in another way. It highlighted the continued allure of the Grand Canyon as it remained a prime location for exploration, even as it resisted industrial development. In the late 19th century, prospectors staked claims in the canyon, hoping to capitalize on the region's mineral wealth. Asbestos, copper, lead, and zinc deposits were identified, but due to the difficulty of accessing and extracting the minerals, mining was largely unprofitable. While many prospectors left, others turned to the emerging tourist trade. Over time, these activities helped improve existing trails, including the famed Bright Angel Trail, which would become a key route for visitors seeking to explore the depths of the Grand Canyon. Today, thanks to the efforts of early explorers like Powell and Dutton, the Grand Canyon stands as one of the most iconic natural landmarks in the world. Its stunning beauty, rich geological history, and scientific significance are undeniable, and it continues to captivate visitors from all over the globe. What was once dismissed as profitless and valueless is now a national treasure, standing as a testament to the vision and perseverance of those who saw its potential long before the world took notice. History of the Grand Canyon area. The Grand Canyon has been home to humans for over 10,000 years, its vast rock walls silently witnessing the rise and fall of civilizations. The first signs of human presence date back around 10,500 years, and for at least the last 4,000, Native American tribes have lived in and around the canyon, shaping its history and culture. Among the earliest known groups were the ancestral Pueblo peoples, who evolved from the desert culture. Initially semi-nomadic, they gradually transitioned into settled agricultural societies, first as the basket maker culture, and later as the more advanced Pueblo people. A similar group, the Cochimi, also lived in the canyon, but a severe drought in the late 13th century likely forced both cultures to move on. Other tribes, including the Paiute, Serbat, and Navajo, later made the Grand Canyon region their home, only to be displaced by the U.S. government in the 19th century, forced onto reservations as part of westward expansion. The first Europeans to lay eyes on the Grand Canyon came in September 1540, when Captain Garcia Lopez de Cardenas, under orders from Conquistador Francisco Vázquez de Coronado, led a group of Spanish soldiers to search for the mythical Seven Cities of Gold. The Hopi people guided them to the canyon, where they stood in awe at its sheer size, yet found no way to descend its towering cliffs to reach the Colorado River below. After this initial encounter, the canyon remained largely untouched by outsiders for over 2 centuries. It wasn't until the late 18th century that 2 Spanish priests became the second group of non-natives to witness its grandeur. In 1869, U.S. Army Major John Wesley Powell led a daring expedition down the Colorado River, navigating the canyon's treacherous waters. His journey, fraught with danger, rapids, and uncertainty, marked the first scientific exploration of the Grand Canyon. Powell's research, along with further geological studies, helped unravel the canyon's ancient history, but also fueled public interest in the Grand Canyon as a place of extraordinary natural wonder. The promise of mineral riches, particularly copper and asbestos, drew prospectors and miners to the area. However, the canyon's rugged terrain made large-scale mining difficult, and before long, settlers realized that tourism held far greater potential. By the turn of the 20th century, the Grand Canyon was becoming a renowned travel destination. Visitors endured long and grueling stagecoach rides from nearby towns to witness its breathtaking vistas. Everything changed in 1901 with the completion of the Grand Canyon Railway, linking Williams, Arizona, to the South Rim. This railway revolutionized travel to the canyon, making it more accessible and fueling the rapid development of tourist facilities. The Fred Harvey Company played a significant role in shaping early tourism, constructing iconic sites like the luxurious El Tovar Hotel on the South Rim in 1905 and Phantom Ranch in the Inner Gorge in 1922. As more people came to appreciate the canyon's beauty, the need for its protection grew. Initially designated a forest reserve in 1893 and later a U.S. national monument, the Grand Canyon officially became a national park in 1919, just 3 years after the creation of the National Park Service. That year, it welcomed 44,173 visitors. Today, over 5 million people visit annually, a testament to the canyon's enduring allure. Archaeological discoveries continue to shed light on the canyon's deep past. Evidence suggests that humans not only passed through the area 10,500 years ago, but also inhabited it at least 4,000 years ago. In limestone caves, artifacts dating back 3,000 to 4,000 years, including delicate split-twig animal figurines crafted from willow and cottonwood, hint at the lives of those who came before. These early inhabitants, part of the desert culture, were skilled hunter-gatherers who gradually embraced agriculture. The ancestral Pueblo culture, also called the Histatsinom, people who lived long ago, emerged around 500 BCE. These people thrived in the canyon and along its rim, surviving through farming, hunting, and gathering. Renowned for their intricate basket-weaving skills, they lived in communal bands inside caves or in circular mud structures called pit houses. By 500 CE, their society became more stable and less nomadic, marking the beginning of a new era of settlement. As time progressed, the ancestral Pueblo transitioned from mud and poles to stone structures, signaling the start of the Pueblo period around 800 CE. They adapted to the extreme canyon climate by migrating seasonally, spending summers in the high plateaus and winters in the inner canyon. Granaries and multi-room pueblos, some still standing today, were built to store food and provide shelter. Within Grand Canyon National Park, there are over 2,000 known archaeological sites, including the well-preserved Tusayan Pueblo, constructed around 1185, which once housed around 30 people. For centuries, the ancestral Pueblo and the Cojonina flourished in the canyon. But by the late 1200s, something forced them to leave. Scientists believe that a prolonged drought from 1276 to 1299 devastated crops and made survival impossible. As a result, many migrated to new areas, such as the Rio Grande and the Little Colorado River drainages, where their descendants, the Hopi and the 19 Pueblos of New Mexico, still live today. For nearly a century after their departure, the Grand Canyon was largely uninhabited. Then new groups arrived. The Paiutes settled on the plateaus north of the Colorado River, while the Serbat built communities south of the river on the Coconino Plateau. The Navajo, or Diné, came later, adding to the region's rich cultural history. These groups thrived in the canyon until 1882, when U.S. government policies forcibly relocated them to reservations, mirroring the fate of many Native American tribes during that era. Despite this displacement, the legacy of the canyon's indigenous peoples lives on. The Havasupai and Hualapai, both descendants of the Serbat, still call the region home. The village of Supai, tucked deep within the canyon, has been occupied for centuries. Just beyond the park's eastern boundary lies the Navajo Nation, the largest reservation in the United States.
Let him walk across the Grand Canyon because they were afraid he was going to fall and then they'd get in the news for the wrong reasons.
From ancient civilizations and Spanish explorers to daring adventurers and modern tourists, the Grand Canyon's history is a story of discovery, resilience, and transformation. What once was a land of survival and sacred traditions is now one of the world's most iconic natural wonders, drawing millions each year to stand in awe of its vast beauty. Do you think we'll ever get answers to the mysteries of the Grand Canyon, or do you think otherwise? Let us know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Also, click the next video shown on your screen. You will enjoy it.